In today's show, we look ahead to Sunday in the NBA. We look at streaming targets for points leagues and for each category for category leagues to help you win your matchup. Michael Bolton, can you help?
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy Basketball, your daily fantasy basketball podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd and I am the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and you can find me on Twitter as always at redrock_Beeble and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with the promo code Locked On. That's PrizePicks.com. The promo code is Locked On. Thank you for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms. So last week I screwed this up for the Sunday streaming show. I just did it like a regular what to watch for instead of the format that I'd been doing where it's like, hey, these are the guys for these individual categories to target. So for that, I apologize. But we're back to regular scheduled programming here, and we're going to look at what we do specifically on Sunday to stream players in for that day to help you win your weekly matchups. So we will get straight into that now.
Let's get it on, Gilly.
All right, we'll start with points leagues. We'll start with Yahoo Points leagues in particular. All of these players I've mentioned are available in over 50% of leagues. Is that your league? I've got no idea, but I know it's in over 50% of leagues. So if these guys are available, there's a list of 8 blokes here. Have a look. Santi Aldama, yes, he's not a long-term hold. Said this millions of times. But when we're looking to add someone, and a lot of people have obviously reacted and dropped him, but he's available. So go ahead, have a look. If he's there, he's probably your priority, your number one guy that you'd look to add, maybe. Actually, I'd probably look at the guy behind him a little bit higher, the Wiki Chris Boucher, with Pascal Siakam out. But both of those guys are probably the two guys I look to as your really good Yahoo point streamers. There are other options, though. Marcus Morris Sr., he's available in a lot of leagues. He's playing pretty well. Struggled last game, but he's playing pretty well as a whole this season. Patty Williams wasn't as good last game, but we've seen his numbers and his minutes push up with Andre Drummond out, and the big avocado will be out once again on Sunday. So that really does help Pat Williams. Kevin Love, last game was amazing from Love. Took on playmaking responsibilities with Garland and Mitchell out, shot well, usage up. The last game when Mitchell and Garland played, he played 14 minutes and stunk. So it's a little bit hit or miss. There's only 4 games on. So take a look at Kevin Love. Otto Porter, yes, Otto Porter is back. He's back, he is playing, and the Raptors are without players. So, can he be an option? I think that it is risky, of course, with Otto Porter, but they're going to have Siakam out, maybe Van Vliet out, and last game, second game for the season, Porter played 21 minutes. If you get 20 minutes or so, he can be useful. Pat Beverly, his name keeps coming up because of my projections. He's just been so far below expectations that I see his name on these and I go, fuck's sake, not again, Patrick Beverly. Like, I'm not willing to put much into that, nor Tyus Jones, but they're there because maybe there's the chance. Maybe something good happens. I don't know, though. ESPN Points leagues. There's something really fishy about ESPN Points or ESPN leagues in general with the roster percentages, but I'm going to just throw these out. Like, instead of looking at players rostered in 50% of leagues, these are all guys available in 60% of leagues, which means to me that there are 40% of ESPN leagues who are doing nothing. They have just created them and done nothing about it because these roster percentages are insane. They're insane. Jared Vanderbilt, why is he available in so many leagues? Did everyone just create leagues and not do anything with them? Because these numbers are crazy. Kelly Olynyk is available in 60% of leagues. Over 65, I think. He's rostered 33%, I believe. What are you guys doing? And I know that people watching this show will be like, well, they're not in my league. Okay, I don't know what's going on. But Lonnie Walker, Io DeSumo, he's 11% rostered DeSumo. 11. 1-1. 11. How? How is that possible? Now, I'm not a big Io DeSumo fan, but that is an insane discrepancy between what reality should be and what ESPN leagues are doing. Are they not reacting? I don't know. I know I shit on ESPN a lot of the time, and it's accurate because they're bad. But yeah, why? Oh, sorry, my bad. DeSumo's 32. It was someone else I was looking at that was 11. Yeah, the next guy is 11. Santi Aldama. 11% rostered. 11. We'll do it again. Yeah. Great streamer. Marcus Morris. We said that name before. Worthwhile looking for sure. Tyus Jones. Otto Porter. Storm and Norman Powell's there. He's 20% rostered on ESPN. Yes, and he should have been dropped in a lot of spots, but he's available everywhere. Pat Williams, another name. He's 4% rostered. 4. What? Yeah, there's a lot of guys that are apparently available in ESPN that you can go ahead and have a look at. That compares to 42% Andre Drummond rostered. Okay. That doesn't make a ton of sense, does it? So, yeah, there are lots of options that are available to you in certain ESPN leagues. I don't know if it's yours, but I'm just trying to go by the numbers here. But all of these guys, they all play on Sunday, and they're all going to produce really pretty strong value for your fantasy team, would be my guess. PrizePicks is another great way that you can get strong value in your life because it's fun. It's daily fantasy, and it's not one of those old daily fantasy formats where you're out there trying to create a lineup with a salary cap, going up against thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people, a lot of whom spend their entire life putting those lineups together and entering hundreds and hundreds of different lineups. PrizePicks is you against the projections. You go in, the Otto Porter, 10.5 points, over, under. You go, yeah, all right, I'll put that into my lineup, and I'll go take under. Patrick Beverley, over, under 5.5 points. I'll go under. Santi Aldama, over, under 11% rostered. They don't have that one, but Santi Aldama can be chucked into your lineup. And you get up to 5 of those, put them together, you'll get up to 10 times your entry fee. It's available in over 30 US states. It's available in Canada. It's fast, it's easy. You can be done in under 60 seconds. And when you get a win, the withdrawals are easy as well. It's not just the NBA though. You can do it NFL, NHL, Major League Baseball, college sports, college basketball, college football, WNBA, Euro basketball, cricket, NASCAR, boxing, MMA, PGA, the superior form of golf, disc golf. All of those sports are available over at PrizePicks. So download the PrizePicks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with the promo code LOCKEDON. If you deposit $100, PrizePicks will smack down another $100 as well. If you deposit $50, PrizePicks will give you $50 dues. So don't forget to enter the promo code LOCKEDON at sign up for an instant deposit match up to $100. After listening to Locked On Fantasy Basketball, check out Locked On Sports Today. Make it your second listen. All the big stories across the sports world covered over at Locked On Sports Today, wherever you get podcasts and, of course, on the old YouTube. Category leagues, let's go. It's your time now. Who are we streaming in for what particular category? There's obviously going to be overlap between a lot of these guys, especially with only 4 games on. These players are all available using our advanced metric on Basketball Monster, which tends to filter out inactive leagues and looks more at leagues who have got cash involved or are super active. These are all available in over 50% of those leagues. So, meaning that there's probably a good chance that they're available in yours. For points, just for the points category, Malik Beasley, yes, he's down to lower minutes at the moment. That is a concern, but he's a guy that can take 5 shots, hit 5 threes, get 15 points. Bang, right there. That's all he does. Doesn't do anything else. He scores. Reggie Jackson. Yes, 36 minutes, I think, for him last game. Minutes are up. He's not great. He's an inaccurate shooter, but they are pumping minutes into him. With the absence of Siakam, most likely, Precious Achiuwa is probably going to get a boost. I don't think it'll be quite as big a boost as Boucher, but he's going to get a boost. So look at him. Rui Hachimura, much like Malik Beasley, he doesn't do anything else apart from score, but there's an opportunity to use him. He might have 13 points. He might play 20 minutes and have 8 points, but he's going to score. That is what he does. Goran Dragic, with Kobe White out, Dragic is playing pretty well. He's getting solid minutes and he's being useful for the Chicago Bulls. Brandon Clark. Yes, the upside isn't particularly high, but there are 4 games on. There are not many players available who you can use who have got solid rotation roles, and that is Brandon Clark. It's Otto Porter as well. Otto Porter can hit threes, hit corner threes. He's just a really solid player. Can't really have much in terms of minutes upside, but he's there. And then there's Christian Koloko as well, who's probably going to start with Siakam out. Almost definitely, I would suggest. He doesn't need many. Maybe he has 4 shots. Maybe that's 10 points. Probably isn't, but maybe he can get to 10 points. 8 points. It's hard to stream in guys to score. And that is something that we've talked about a lot in the preseason, about finding options to hit, to score points and to get assists off the wire. It's really, really hard to do. And as you can see there, you're relying upon Brandon Clark and Christian Koloko here on a Sunday to try and stream them in. For threes, Some similar names are going to appear there. Malik Beasley at the top of the list, really good 3 streamer. Dean Wade. Now, his value will increase depending on what we get in terms of absences in Cleveland, because we got Garland and Mitchell who both sat out last game, and if they're out, then Wade probably sees a little bit more playing time. In LA, Matty Ice, Matt Ryan, he doesn't do anything else apart from shoot threes, but he's got at least like a 10 to 15 minute role. That could be 3 threes really easily. It'll be nothing else, but it could be 3 threes. Corey Kispert is back for the Wizards. I don't really know where he fits in with Barton and Hachimura and Gill and Avdia. First game back, Kispert played 18 minutes. If he gets to 22 or 23, if he starts over Gill, he's going to shoot threes, and again, he doesn't do anything else. And then it does get a little bit rough after that. Troy Brown is not a well-known, renowned three-point shooter, but he's a starter with big minutes, and he's probably a 1.5 to 2 threes guy. He is spotting up in the corner a lot more with LeBron and Davis out there, and they went in okay last game. So Brown could be an option. Reggie Jackson and Pat Beverly, 2 much maligned point guards, but they're available, and they will take, and they will hit some threes. And then, oh mate, Lil John Concha. Is he a great 3-point shooter? No. Does he have a 20-minute a night role with Ziaire Williams out? Probably. And that might be enough to get it done for you there. If you look at rebounds, Precious Achiuwa. Yeah, that one big game where he got 22 of them. But there is an opportunity with Siakam out for him to play a little bit more. Lil John Concha, another opportunity.
What?
Yeah, he is a good rebounder. So he can go out there and he can get 5 or 6 as a guard. Otto Porter. Solid rebounder who's going to play a lot in the front court with Siakam out. Christian Koloko, this is what he does. Can he get 6-7 rebounds in 20 minutes? Maybe. Yeah, probably actually. A lot of opportunities opening up in Toronto. Troy Brown's a really good rebounder for his size and position as well in LA. Brandon Clark coming off the bench, but he can get some boards. Pat Beverly, very good rebounder as a guard, better than his assists. And then Javonte Green, the ultimate energy guy who's been great. I'd love to see what he would do in a 30-minute role. It's not going to happen most likely. But he's a guy that occasionally just comes in, absolutely sparks the Bulls, and puts up really good numbers. So there are some rebound options out there. It gets a little rougher when we get to the assists page. There are some names there. Goran Dragic, sure. Yep, all right. The iron shoulder, no worries. He's playing an okay role.
Be very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits.
Alex Caruso, maybe? Zach LaVine may not play. So there is an opportunity for value to rise for guys like Caruso and for Dragic. It is a Sunday, Monday back-to-back. LaVine played their last back-to-back, but he has reappeared on the injury report as questionable with left knee injury management, which is always a worry. So we'll see what happens there. Reggie Jackson for assists. Patrick Beverly, you might get 4 there. Fart and Will Barton can sometimes give us assists.
No, you will! No, he's ready to sack that. Will! Give it off quick!
And then it gets a little bit rough. 1 Toscano Anderson, maybe you get 2. This is what I mean about streaming assists. Jesus. Hull Neto. Now that's one to watch if Garland and Mitchell are out, because he can get 6 or 7. So that's one to watch. And then there's Lil John Conchar again.
Yeah!
He can get 3 to 4 assists. He might score 4 points, but he might have 5 rebounds and 4 assists. And that's what Lil John does. For steals, Beverly, Caruso, Porter, these guys have historically been very good steals players. 1 Toscano Anderson's a pretty good steals guy. Johnny Concha, also a really good steals guy. A lot of steal streaming ability here. Javonte Green can easily get you 2 to 3 steals. So can Troy Brown. They probably won't, but they've got 2 to 3 steal upside. Really, all of these guys are good steals guys. Malik Beasley less so, but the first 7 there historically have been really good defenders and really good at being able to generate steals, and that's super useful for us in fantasy. Let's go to blocks. We're going big men here. Christian Koloko, you might get 2 blocks in 20 minutes. Dan Gafford's really struggled at the moment. He's only playing like 12, 13 minutes a night, but he can still get some blocks. Beverly's a good shot blocker as a guard. He's not huge upside like these other guys, but he can get a block. Brandon Clark had 3 last game. Walker Kessler, I think, had 2 in like 14 minutes. Javonte Green had 2 last game as well as a wing. Derek Jones Jr. with Drummond out. There might be some extra minutes there. And the big sneeze, Precious Achiuwa. He's shithouse, but maybe he gets you a block. He's not a very good shot blocker, and if I'm getting blocks from Toronto, I'd rather go for Koloko. But Achiuwa is going to see some minutes improvement. For field goal percentage, a lot of these same names here, Brandon Clark, Dan Gafford, Javonte Green, Christian Koloko. These are all 60, 70% guys potentially. Green probably a little bit less, but his volume's better. Walker Kessler, Anthony Gill.
Let's get it on, Gilly.
He's been playing a lot of minutes. Some may say too many, and some would be me. But he has been really efficient. Terrence, now these last two, really, really, really iffy ones. I wouldn't. They're next on my list, but Terrence Mann, he's even going to play. I don't know. He played like 3 minutes last game. And then Austin Reeves, who can be an okay field goal percentage guy, but I wouldn't want to trust it. There are 6 other guys who I'd feel much more comfortable. There's a gigantic gap between Mann and Reeves who come next. And then lastly, we look at free throw percentage. Reggie Jackson, Austin Reeves, that's a good one. Corey Kispert's a really good shooter. Javonte Green's free throws have been strong. Beasley's a good free throw guy. Fart and Will Barton could be pretty solid there. Anthony Gill can be good. And Hull Neto, especially if he does get that starting job, can really help you in free throw percentage. And guys, that'll do it for me today. Again, apologies for not having this format last week, but we're back again. Subscribe to this podcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Odyssey, and on YouTube. You do hit subscribe, you do thumb up, you do ring the bell, and you just leave a comment. You like the mustache? Great. Click the link in the description. You can go donate to Movember. You want to say anything else? Just drop them in the comments. Go ahead. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.